Recognize that, diamonds? That's you, shining. Shine, ye diamonds, be of good cheer. Have a Merry Christmas, Christ consciousness all year long. Happy roar, New Year, 2015. For 2015, added together equals 8. 8 equals infinity, limitlessness, forever. Twist the 8 open, poof, it turns into a 0. What does that equal? Wholeness, WHOLENESS, wholeness. Shine, diamonds, shine, like the stars in the sky, which our show is going to be about today. Welcome to the Diamonds Forever 3113 Upgraded. You are live in the upgrade. You are life in the upgrade today. For I said last week, Diamonds Forever 31 upgraded to Diamonds Forever 31 Roar, the lion taking dominion, and 13 Christ consciousness, the supernatural, natural being you are, Diamonds. So this is Elizabeth Diamond, and Lily will be along later in the show. We're going to have a great show today. Julien Wells and Athen Chimenti. Julien actually requested to bring Athen along and do a show. So I'm going to enjoy this really awesome and sit back and have a great show. So let me just do the intros here. I just want to give a shout out and thank you to Joe, who's in Minnesota. He does a wonderful job uploading to YouTube. The Diamonds Calls to Elizabeth Diamond YouTube channel. Look for the one diamond. He's a master at it. Thank you, Joe. Especially if you haven't listened to last week's show, the Merry Christmas show, you'll get really happy and you'll be free. So be sure to listen to that. Even if you listen to it on the phone, if you can, go to the Elizabeth Diamond YouTube channel. And there's 2 of them there. Listen to the top one that says prayer across the picture, because that's an unedited one, and it has all the music in it, and he has live video in there, and it's beautiful. So be sure to honor him and go watch it, too, as you're listening. It's titled The Action of Who You Really Are. And you'll see the first one up there. It has prayer written across it. All right. So that'll upgrade you. Like I said, we're upgrading, and we're in the live upgrade right now. Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally upgrades, okay? Pass it on and don't miss that one. And for those who don't have the internet, this call is designed so you can listen to it too anywhere you go over your phone. So you can dial the recorded line. That's 209-255-1099. That's a recorded line. And then you would put the PIN in 883267 #. That's 883267 #. And last week's show reference is 192 £. I did a couple private calls in between. So this show today is reference 195 £. Okay, the calls are also always blogged. I put the link on, and a couple days later the YouTube is up on the blog on all the calls, and that is Diamonds with an S Forever 31.blogspot.com, where I blog most every day news of who you really are, learning who you really are, and going beyond awakening. Also, there's a donate button up in the upper right-hand corner. Pay back energy in kind if you are so inclined. There's a lot of people calling and messaging me that they just found diamonds and they're really liking it, and that's great. And one lady messaged me. She said, wow, I didn't even hear of you before, and I just stumbled onto you and listened to it. And then she said she had an encounter, a supernatural, natural encounter, you guys. She was, I don't know, in a room or laying down, and a light came in her room. And in the light, there was words that said study group. And she said, I knew exactly, I thought of you right then. So the Diamond Show. Wow. Supernatural stuff going to happen, even on the phone, you guys, even if we're not, person to person. Okay, so I want to thank you. Shout outs to Joe with the YouTube uploads, Lily, the co-host of Diamonds, IQDcalls.com, who puts the Diamonds information on their site, dinargurunews.com, truthcall.com, and ashtarcommand.com. We can upload videos there. Thank you, guys. Also a shout out, and you can help me too. This is by invitation only. I want to give a thank you to tsuc.co. It's a new social network where you can be very creative, and we're becoming those creators more and more every day, you guys. So you're going to be itching to create so many things. So I welcome you, and my private invitation to you to get on T as in Tom, S as in Sam, U as in umbrella, C as in candy, O as in octopus. You'd go to my link, and I can give you that link. It's on the YouTube channels too. It's on the YouTube shows on the screen. So that link is www.tsu.co/ a capital D and then regular letters, diamond 31 / 2135854. So www.tsu.co/ capital D diamond 31 / 2135854. Shout out, thank you to Facebook, and just want to let you know the next upcoming show is going to be special. We're grouping together. I wanted to join other people in it, and my friend Andrew Fisher, who I met in Florida a couple of years ago, that was a beautiful trip. That's where I actually met Lily, too. Andrew Fisher has Nature of Reality show on Blog Talk Radio. He will be simulcasting with me for this next week's show. It's going to be an awesome show with Peter Slattery, who's a starseed. I believe he lives in the UK, and he's calling in, by the way. He's going to do this show with us at 6 a.m. in the morning. What a wonderful man that is. Steve Bassett, you know, the Citizens Hearing UFO Disclosure activist in Washington, D.C., and Tom Clearwater, one of the founders and funders of the Citizens Hearing with Steve Bassett work together, and he has some amazing stuff to bring. So look forward to that. That's going to be awesome. All right. Now, I know Athen's there and Julien's there, but before I introduce them, I'm just going to be really short. I want to, I did a spontaneous, I'm not known to do meditations, but I did a spontaneous meditation. They invited me on a call I was on this week, and so get ready to do a meditation. It's only about 5 minutes long. It's fun. Just get in a relaxed position and sit down, lay down, lights dim if you can, loose clothing. And then we're going to take 3 breaths, deep breaths. So when they talk about that, they're really good, you guys. Just take a slow breath in and punch your tummy out like a balloon. To the count of 10, take a slow breath in and stick your tummy out. Hold it for the count of 10. And then blow it out for the count of 10 and feel your tummy deflating like a balloon. So, really good breathing technique. And then we'll go to Julien Athen. So, let me do that. And then at the end of the call, I'm going to play the full version of this meditation, what comes before this meditation, because I want to inspire maybe ones that would work with me, or I want to inspire you guys to go out and create, because I believe it's in my heart and it's really needed right now and right pertinent for the time. And I'll leave that surprise, anticipating at the end. You can listen to that. And we'll do the meditation again. It goes right in with the meditation. But we're going to just do the meditation here right now. So if you guys are ready, hold on one second. All right, here we go. And this is kind of like a takeoff because I have been drunk in the glory of God for 2 weeks now. And so get drunk in the glory. Because when you get drunk in the glory and the bliss and the joy of God, you know what? Of who you are, you know what happens? Everything. Wondrous things. You heal. It just goes away. Boom. Healing just, my yoke is easy, burden is light. And you get happy. And when you soak it, it just changes you into your supernatural, natural self. Okay, here we go.
Glory, very powerful. Absolutely.
Oh, my God. And I'm shaking. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm really drunk. I'm really drunk. Woo! Oh, it's just powerful. I saw it here. Okay, I got to give it away. Ready? Oh, yeah. Have some glory.
I had just been splattered with glory. Oh, that would be a wonderful album, Splattered with Glory. It would be so interesting. People would listen just to see, what on earth could this be about? That's music right there, right? Splattered with Glory. Oh, God.
I'm telling you, Cynthia, you guys, everybody, it's happening. It's happening with me. It's happening with you, Cynthia, all we've been talking about. It's here, finally. I'm going to cry. Oh, my God, you guys. It's here, Cynthia. And here's another thing, if you guys dare. Maybe this is what's going on. I called those 360 angels in. Oh, my God. Woo! And my other beings, but my revelation a week or so ago was to call in all the 2015 energies to myself now. So I can be a change agent to the world while they're going through this too, to the ones that really need it. Somehow, just being. Whew, I'm telling you, when I called in the 2015 energies, all of them, woo, I felt. I'm really shaking inside now. Shaking like a quake, you guys. Somebody talk.
Well, I just want to thank you for sharing all this because I really needed to hear it, and I'm really grateful.
Right.
Period. I mean, you know, fans cheering in the audience here. I mean, I'm cheering you on, girl.
Breath of fresh air. Yes. Well, you guys, you just said it, Marianne. It's just right there. It's right there. Everybody just close your eyes.
Okay, let's all close our eyes, everybody. Everybody, close your eyes, okay? Now go ahead and be slow and guide us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You take a deep breath. We'll take a deep breath. Let's do 3 special breaths where we all breathe in to the count of 10, hold. You know the drill. Starting now, and then if you'll guide us. But let's all do the 3 breaths starting now.
Okay, guys. First of all, this is the revelation for you. I just want to call in all the 360 angels that assigned at each degree around 360 degrees around the earth. I'll call in the divine flame of living love. I'll call in the spiritual cord of equity of each of our ancestors, if you're willing, your ancestors. You can call in all of our multidimensional selves. And we call in all the glory, the glory beings from every dimension, and understood and not understood, known or unknown, that will help us in experiencing this and making it real and tangible for us. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Now, you guys just imagine like your little girl, little boy sitting in the grass or laying down in the grass if it's more comfortable, in a bed of daisies. And it's a bright blue sky with clouds, little fluffy clouds around the sky. And all of a sudden you see out of one of those clouds a bright pink bubble coming out. It's little and it comes out of the cloud. it starts slowly coming down to you. You keep watching it and wonder what that is. You know, your little girl, little boy. You're having fun. That bubble keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And here it comes. It's like 4 inches in front of your face, and you're like, wow. And then you start wondering, what's in there? What's in that big, beautiful bubble? And you see, now use your imagination. Whatever you see love in there. You see love, and you recognize that love. And now you're looking around more, and you see peace. Peace. Wow, you remember that peace. And you keep looking, and you see lots of things in there. Oh, and you discover joy. Joy's in there. Yay! And you see bliss and happiness. And you see all the desires of your heart in there. And you're like, wow, that's awesome. And now you decide, okay, I want all that. I want to drink it all in. So now I want you guys just to blow out and take a great big breath in and suck that bubble right in you. And hold it for a minute. And I just ask for the key from heaven to unlock every well in your body, to let all the dross out and let this joy, love, peace, and happiness in. Blow out. Just feel it all blah, blah, gluey, 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 gluey. Happy, 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 joy, joy, all over you. You might feel sad. You might feel like crying. Go ahead and cry. It's getting all that dross out. You might feel shivers inside you. You might feel dizzy, or it just feels good. You might feel like a marshmallow. You might feel happy, like laughing. But it's good. And keep imagining that. So every day as you go about your time, as you're walking around, what I do, I just imagine that bubble or a big glory drink, and I just go, and then I hold it in a minute, and I blow it out. I can feel it all over me. And when you blow it out, it doesn't go to waste. It goes to the whole world. And as you walk around and talk with people, and sometimes you may not even feel it, you're changing them from the inside out. But first of all, remember, love yourself as that little girl and change yourself from inside out. Because God loves you, and you are God, and we're all one. So keep that bubble close to you every day. You can imagine that bubble that you just to breathe in every day. Use your imagination. So now let's give 90 seconds to just let it flow on you. How y'all feel? At the very least, you're relaxed. Wow. Elizabeth, thank you. What do you feel?
I feel joy. I feel it at all the way to the tip of my toes. And
what's your sensations in your body? Anything you feel?
Just, I'm in my heart. It's just God. It's fun. It's nice. It's just beautiful. I see sparkles. I see, I see a lot of sparkles, and it's a lot of different colors. A lot of different colors. So,
well, I tell you, that's the strongest drink you could ever have.
That's right.
And it's all you need. All you need is God. All you need is love. All you need is love. I am like shivering. Can you tell that? Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate any feedback too. If there's anything today or tomorrow or whatever.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's who you are. That's who you are, though. It's not me. It's you.
It's joyful. I mean, it's thank you. Thank you, thank you. And we can use it at any time. We can call
You're smart. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, okay. I'm muting out. I'm going to listen, okay?
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and we ask that this be done according to the highest good of all concerned in each and every moment, in each and every place, with each and every being, that it is transformed and transmuted to be absolutely the highest good of all concerned, no matter what, no matter where, no matter how, that this prayer of this glory drink be configured to adapt to the infinite diversity of creation in a way that's the highest good of all concerned, so that everything gets initiated into supreme happiness, into the splendor and the majesty of divine consciousness in their desires, in their thoughts, and in their emotions manifesting in their world. And so it is. We give thanks that this is done. So be it.
So it is.
Wow. Thank you. Beautiful. Wow.
And I just want to say, when you feel it, you don't have to necessarily laugh. Sometimes people go into a trance. You feel really relaxed. I mean, I just did it a little bit ago, and it helped me meditate, and I just, like, connected into I just kept getting faxes from heaven, ideas and stuff. So it helps you relax into, just into meditation. It just gives you peace if you had a hard day. Yeah, it's good. shine, diamonds. Okay. Let's go deeper into the upgrade. Life. Deeper into the upgrade, deeper and deeper. Let me introduce our guests here. Just to do a little reading. Oh, somebody's unmuted. If they could star 6, please, for a minute. I think I have the room closed. Okay, and the moderators, please just star 6 a minute. All right, so I'll just read what Julien wrote. I'll be on Elizabeth Diamond's Forever show again on January 3rd, talking with Athen Chimenti, a sidereal astrologer. To learn about more, okay, let me just skip over that for a minute. Athen gives a brief description of what sidereal astrology is on his website. Athen Chimenti, sidereal astrologer and YouTube host. He does daily, weekly, and monthly horoscopes as well as personal sessions. You can find him at masteringthezodiac.com or Mastering the Zodiac on YouTube. Mastering the Zodiac uses the actual positions of the stars and planets in the sky, also known as sidereal astrology. You may have noticed that almost everything on YouTube and the Internet uses Western tropical astrology. This is the most popular system in the westernized world, particularly the United States and Europe. However, it does not use the astrological map of the stars as they were during approximately 285 AD. Tropical astrology was intended to match the stars with the vernal equinox. However, the stars are slowly changing relative to the Earth, so there is currently a variance of 24 degrees between the two systems. Sidereal astrology has not yet received widespread popularity in the Western world. It has, however, always been used by Vedic astrologers in India and is the form of astrology which was also practiced by other ancient cultures such as the Egyptians, Persians, and Mayans. We feel this is the most accurate form of astrology because it is grounded in what you can actually see taking place in the sky. For example, if you download the Star Chart app for your smartphone, you can see that the signs used by the tropical system are different. For example, while tropical astrology might say that Jupiter is in Leo, if you look to the sky, you would see that Jupiter is in fact in the constellation Cancer. Hey, that's me. We believe in maintaining the link between ourselves and the natural world by viewing the stars as they truly are. So here we are, showtime. Diamonds Forever 1331 upgraded and going deeper into the upgrade. So let me just check to see if Julien, oh, and we have Julien. Let me introduce Julien too. Julien Wells, he's a reality programmer, you guys. And he's been on the Diamond Show 2 or 3 times, wonderful shows we've had. He connects in with a group of Pleiadians, but more Pleiadians on this observation ship. There's more than Pleiadians. There's other star people. And their observation ship, he connects in, he bilocates to that ship. I do have an effort camera on me. I contracted with them. Julien brought that in one of the calls. And you can contract with them, and they follow me all over the place. And you can put restrictions, like if you don't want them to watch in the bathroom, whatever. But I just said, whatever, go for it, guys. Anyway, I remember that once in a while, and I just laugh. I said, oh, my God. They're probably laughing and up there and having fun. But anyway, that's kind of the life I live. Anyway, so Julien also connects, and I'm sure by now, with other star people. He's connected with Ashtar. And, you know, the dream here on Diamonds Forever is to build a more intimate relationship with our star families, our star people that are helping us, even if we don't know it, all of us. They're part of our ancestry. So, Julien, did you make it here yet? And Athen, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. This is Athen.
Okay. And let me just shout out for Julien. Are you there, Julien? Or Jennifer? Something must have, something came up at the last minute. So he'll be along here soon, and Lily will be popping in too. So let's just welcome you, Athen. And how are you today, and how is your life today?
I'm great. Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks for having me too. It's been a great New Year's. Very relaxing, actually.
Pardon me. Sorry. Are you on speakerphone?
Actually, I'm on Skype.
Oh, okay. Just talk a little bit closer. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say I had a good, relaxing New Year's.
That's better. Yeah, relaxing New Year's. That's great. And a happy one, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've never heard of you before. Julien said, "Hey, Elizabeth, I want to do a show with this great friend I'm making and have." And he was very much passionate and inspired about it. So, well, in a nutshell, why don't you just give us a little bit of your journey up until you discovered astrology or discovered something interesting in astrology. Give us a little bit of background of your journey up to that, and then a little background of, what this is about. Yeah.
Well, basically, I had a spiritual awakening, right around 2011. Mm-hmm. And, I've always been very spiritual, but that's when it really started to, culminate for me, and I started to get really serious with it. And one of the first things that stood out to me was astrology, just because it does such a good job of, showing the current energies and kind of, more about the self, illuminating the consciousness within individuals and, of course, the collective too. But I got into that very, very heavily for a few years, and studying. I studied, the most popular astrology, which is the tropical Western astrology, which pretty much everyone's familiar with. This is the horoscopes and the stuff you see online, such as YouTube and stuff. So in my studies, I actually found that this tropical system doesn't use the actual locations of the stars. And so that really puzzled me, and it spawned a much deeper discovery on my part in terms of, okay, why is that the case? And slowly but surely, I started to implement the true locations, which, as you said, is sidereal, known as sidereal astrology. It's the same astrology that the Vedics use, and actually all of the world use, other than the Western world, interestingly. So that's the astrology I use. It's not popular in the Western world, but it's getting really good responses. People really enjoy it, and that's the system that I've chosen for myself too. So
I like.
Julien, can you hear me?
Oh, Julien, hi. One second, Athen. Thank you. I'm glad you made it. Yay, Athen. I always like to delve a little deeper. Sure. Can you just share with us how you? Nothing's by accident, but how you stumbled on, you were studying the Western astrology and then you stumbled onto the Sidereal astrology. Can you just share a little bit how your journey there?
Yeah, actually, I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh, you know what? I do remember. Actually, yeah, we were using these apps that we have on the smartphones now, like Google Stars and some other ones. And so we started looking up at the sky. And we noticed that we're supposed to be looking for, a full moon, which was supposedly taking place in some constellation like Gemini or something. And so we used the app, and we realized, that's not even where the full moon was. It was in Taurus or whatever it was. And so that's what got us started, me and my partner Rachel. And then so we started, doing more research and found out that the Westerners don't use it. So we started implementing the actual locations from that point forward, a little bit, slowly.
Wow. Hey, you might have been one of the three wise men, huh? You never know. And you and your friend are coming into that. Wow, thanks for sharing that. Now, I know Julien's here. Julien, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome, Julien. I introduced you a little bit. I want you to just give just a small introduction of you, and then the Pleiadians, and I don't know how you want to do that, work that in, or after your questions
Sure.
with Athen. But as far as we got with Athen is his background, how he awakened, and how he came into the astrology, and you heard the rest. So I'm going to turn it over to you two. Julien, you just shine with the diamond sign, and Athen, you shine back to him, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you, Elizabeth.
And then I may interject a few times, but go for it, guys.
Sure. Well, for those who don't know me, I've been on several radio shows for a little over a year, sharing with those that are kind of going through the awakening process and getting to understand all the different kinds of illusions we've come to face, such as, what people might call the Illuminati or Cabal. Not that I'm very involved in taking a look at that, but there's been lots of abstractions, and that has led to make it sort of confusing to try to understand what's really going on with the world and where our place is in it, and exactly what the awakening is about. And through astrology, I've found that there's a lot of detail given to the study of astrology, and a lot of information that's pretty straightforward with regards to being able to understand oneself. And I always was very interested in astrology, but for some reason I couldn't really get all into it. For some reason there was anomalies. It basically appeared too confusing because there's things that didn't line up. There's things that didn't quite work. It was almost like it was entirely subjective, and whatever you want to say is whatever's going to work, and if you really trust it, then it's going to work. If you don't trust it, then it's just going to, blow up in your face whenever you try. But the information about sidereal astrology coming up really opened up, and things started to make sense when operating from that perspective. Operating from that place. I always heard that Vedic astrology was much better and more accurate, but I didn't really have an access to that. And also looking at the world of astrology being, pretty confusing for newbies like myself, it became something just too overwhelming. And so I came across Athen and his work, and basically grew a very big smile on my face because what he was talking about and the level that he spoke to his readings. He has a YouTube channel, and he does regular readings about the days and the weeks, and it actually led me to actually gain more confidence with my own subtle intuitions and information that I was getting with regards to the times and the energies surrounding myself and others in the local region of time, such as weeks and months and whatnot. So, in fact, he stood out as a strong confirmation. And this is kind of, it's not exactly a first, but it became even more intense and more clear, which is a really big thing that I'm into, which is making the subtle things that are going on, maybe the invisible things going on, become more clear. It helps us, move on our path of discovering and learning more clarity about ourselves in the big picture of things, and, helps us obviously through our awakening process. What some people call ascension, which is not actually an end point at all. It's just a continual progression of gaining more and more grounded insight that you can work with. And so, I'm really excited to have Athen here. Basically, I have a good number of questions for him with regards to all things sidereal and a couple things, just astrological in general. And I have until about the 2-hour mark with the show, so I know that Elizabeth was interested in me bringing the Pleiadians forward. I don't exactly channel, but I guess I kind of do channel, but to speak with them So it's about 11:45 for me now. If we go for about an hour, Athen, then we can basically sum up around an hour from now, and I can talk with the Pleiadians for about 10, 15 minutes or so. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. And let me just interject really quick. Athen, and somewhere after that hour, I don't know, is it possible to do like a little mini reading so we can give a sample out, like to me or whatever? And do you need anything from me so I can give it to you now?
Actually, yeah, your birth information. If you'd like to do a little birth chart reading.
Okay.
Or if someone wants to volunteer, call in. I can do that too.
Okay, well, just do it to me, I guess.
Okay.
It's 7263.
7263. Okay, what time?
Oh, like 3:30 p.m.
Around 3:30.
Yeah.
Okay, location?
Iowa. I'm an Iowegian.
Well, where is it? I'm sorry.
Oh, Denison, Iowa.
Denison. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll pull up your chart in the meantime. Sounds good.
Okay. Go forward. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna walk a little bit around the edges of sidereal understanding to begin with, because the things that obviously people are going to ask is why is this tropical astrology so popular when more accurate astrology should just be apparent to people, that the sidereal is actually more accurate? And why aren't people, gluing themselves to the more accurate information versus the tropical way of reading your charts?
Well, tropical is not completely ungrounded in the sense that it is pretty accurate. Actually, it's just more of a question of what it's accurate for. From what I've found, Western and the tropical system is really good for your more physical self. And I think that might be why you've identified more with the sidereal, and why I do personally as well, is because it's what you might consider more energetic, or your higher self, or your true self, because it's based on the now position of the stars, what's actually taking place in the sky. Tropical is based on the seasons. So it's actually adjusted. So it's off by about 24 degrees right now at the moment.
What does 24 degrees mean? Is that 24 days or?
If you consider 360 degrees for the zodiac, so it's almost a full sign away at the moment.
Okay. So yeah, around 26 days or 30 days or something like that. In terms of the seasonal equinox, right? But it changes all of your planets by 24 degrees as well. So even a slow planet like Neptune, for instance, would be in a more than likely a completely different sign in the two systems. You see. But planets that move very quickly, there's a chance that it's not that you might actually have it in the correct spot depending on what year you're born in, right?
No, it actually just depends on where it is in the chart. So basically, if any planet is 24 degrees or more in your tropical Western chart, then that'll be the same in both systems. However, if it's 24 degrees or less, then they'll be different. So it's not based so much on the speed of the planet. It's not based on the speed of the planet at all, actually. It's based on the degrees of where it was located when you were born. So it's just happenstance. It's just where they happen to be in the tropical system sometimes coincides with the sidereal system.
Okay, so as a result, you're saying that most people in the Western world have been looking at their charts in referring to a more physical side experience with the information. What does that mean? I mean, I would assume if it's off, everything's wrong, right?
It's more of what you would call your egoic experience. It's just basically the lens that you're seeing it through. And that's just ego. That could be healthy ego too. It's just your physical body and your mind. So you can see the tropical system and get a very good understanding of your ego, basically, and your physical mind and how it's interpreting those experiences. But in terms of how you're interpreting those experiences spiritually or with your higher self, true self, then that's where sidereal comes in.
Okay, so when we talk about the mind, just to clarify, this is the part that is much more, has a lot more limitations and preferential associations to it. I mean, if you want to look at ego, you can just look at Hollywood, right? People are acting. They're in this moment. They are creating sort of like a personality for themselves. And for those that are aware of that, you realize that you have a deeper heart. You have a broader truth to yourself that is beyond what you might associate in a world of programming, right? In a world that appeals to the short-term achievements of success.
Right. Your perspective would be absolutely correct. It's just a matter of how you see it too, because some people would see the benefit actually of using the tropical system to interpret kind of how we might respond, mentally or physically to a certain situation, which it may not necessarily be that, it's for, again, the more negative side of the ego. It's just how our physical bodies, including our physical minds, will respond to a certain situation. So it does have merit in that sense, especially in the realm of psychology. So psychologists can really benefit from it as well. But in terms of spiritual
mind properties,
right? But in terms of spiritual growth, then that's, in my opinion, where sidereal comes into play, where that shines.
Okay, and it's funny because a lot of people who have used astrology, at least in my experience, have considered it a spiritual process. Actually, it's almost like maybe they're not Christian or Buddhist or anything, but they've looked at astrology as a form of religion.
Right.
That is, the way that I would prefer to be guided. So basically, if you've been in Western, that may have served for quite some time, and so I guess from what I'm saying, it's worth giving sidereal a shot to see if you're sort of ready for a next level of clarity of the deeper you, or the broader you, or the more understanding more of what your soul is like. Now when we look at this and we say, the chart has been wrong for quite some time. How long has it been?
Since the chart was the same?
The Western is like 1,000 years off, or?
Oh, right, yeah, off? around 270 AD is when they were aligned.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
But see, they're not going to be aligned for another 25,000 years. So it's very different. Basically, what it's based on when people talk about the age of Aquarius, they're talking about the eons and the ages. Well, it takes 26,000 years to go through all 12 ages, all 12 zodiac signs. So that's what this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about the ecliptic and how long it takes for this whole zodiacal all these ages to go around this 26,000 year cycle. And it just so happened that at 270 AD they were aligned. And I believe that's why the Westerners started to use the tropical system. One of the main reasons. And for that reason,
that's when astrology was invented in the Western world, or Western perspective.
So it's been around for a long time before that, but that's when tropical astrology, Western astrology, was born. Because you've got Ptolemy, who is who basically gave birth to the system in at least the academic world. And so at the time it had merit because, it was very similar, maybe off by 1 degree at most. But now it's becoming increasingly more different. And so now, 2,000 years later, we're at 24 degrees difference, you see. So as the years approach, in the next few hundred years, it's going to be a full sign away, and it's going to increase from there, you see. So.
Okay. So the other question I have is, how is it possible that with the readings were not accurate? Like, why would they be inaccurate? I mean, is it like some planets are actually moving faster than others or something? Like maybe we have the velocities incorrect or something like that?
No, it's just that the Westerners, they adjust the chart completely. They basically take the position of the stars now, the planets where they're at in the sky, and then they change it by 24 degrees. So it's not even based on looking at the stars. It's simply based on an adjusted system. So the reason why they do that is they believe that, it's better to adjust the planets for the seasons so that every spring equinox, it's 0 degrees Aries. So every year, they're adjusting the system just slightly to keep it matched with the seasons. But because the seasons, the equinox is changing very slowly, like I said, every 26,000 years it goes through a full revolution, then, now it's becoming increasingly, more different. But, since then, since 270, they've been just keep adjusting it to the spring equinox, and that's why it's so different. But no, it's not based on the actual stars at all. It's based on a completely made-up system, really. It's based on this.
Any astrologer worth his mettle that can look at the stars, at the planets, actually, and basically look at the star systems. So basically, when anybody who takes the time to even use a telescope and compare the information to what's being presented in astrological circles that are talking about, what your zodiac information is, are going to find out that it's incorrect. And so that sort of points, if I may, to what seems like some kind of strange, for going into the conspiracy world, it's like a big cover-up. Why hasn't anybody consciously said that it's off? If most astrology, Western astrology, is literally saying, this is in your sign, when something may not actually be in your sign, and you can just look up and see that it isn't.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So we're looking at maybe something that could be a conspiracy, and we don't have to speculate. There's plenty of reasons why we can assume that, there'd be people that wouldn't want us to know, but we're looking also at how many people, like a NASA, for instance, must simply know that astrology is off. Or maybe they just dismiss, astrological readings altogether because they just say that everyone's bonkers, to even believe in something that's actually inaccurate anyways.
Yeah, the scientific community definitely does disregard astrology completely. But in terms of, why the true information is hidden, you could definitely go down that rabbit hole. And if you look at the times when that started to be propagated, it was during the Dark Ages, at the same time that a lot of the, Western religious ideas, collective ideas, not so much specifically what the powerful few were studying, but what they propagated for society and what they passed down and told society what to adopt.
Yeah,
so
there
is a lot of correlations there for sure.
Okay. Now, you're one of the few YouTube channels, really the only YouTube channel that I'm coming across that does sidereal readings. Is that the case, or are there others that are on a similar path as you that you're aware of?
The Vedics. They're still very active online. But what's interesting, actually, is that most of the Vedic astrologers that do horoscopes, they've adopted the tropical system. And my guess is the reason. Yeah, my guess is the reason is that they're appealing. They're appealing to the masses. You see, no one seems to have the courage and confidence to do something different. Everyone is basically like, okay, if you're a Leo and you go watch a Leo horoscope, well, you're going to be very disappointed when you find out that you're not a Leo anymore and you're actually a Cancer. And I get this daily on my channel is, people who find out they're not what they think they are. And I lose a lot of viewers that I would otherwise have if I just used the tropical system, you see. And I'm very aware that I'm sure these other astrologers are, catering to the collective in terms of this tropical system.
So you're saying, you're talking about it's kind of like it's better business.
It's like what?
It's better business to work with the mass consciousness level of it.
Exactly. Same.
I see.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not getting rich off this, I'm suspecting.
Well, it's slowly building. That's the beauty of it, and this is how things change. It starts small, and then the ball starts to move, and it's gaining a tremendous amount of momentum, actually, exponential. I'm noticing. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take a few sparks, but no, the fire is actually burning. It's actually starting to get pretty large at the moment.
Okay. Do you happen to know any other people or references that you might list that are kind of on the same page as you are? Maybe not in YouTube, but maybe bloggers or people that you might have learned from yourself, or websites and stuff in terms of sources? That people don't have to rely just on you alone to research this material.
If you type in a Vedic horoscope, you'll get plenty of Vedic astrologers. Now, the Vedic system is different from the system I use because I'm a Western astrologer that uses the sidereal system. So I take the Western approach and I apply the actual positions, using the real position of the stars. The Vedics have their own system. It's completely different and unique. Now, I'm the only one I know of that does tropical Western. But if you did want a different perspective, I would recommend the Vedics because they're using the actual locations. Their system's a little bit different, but it's still just as accurate. And
I'm gathering it's pretty easy to access for people that only speak English.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's YouTube videos also. Very good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm getting that to do your chart, you're going to need a different kind of tool to do your chart. You got the information from Elizabeth earlier, but is there a single tool that we can actually trust that's going to give us, the correct information at this point? Or are they all, or do you have to do it by hand? Or are they, not popular, or are they being, these websites maybe being taken down or something? I mean, how can someone do their chart? What would you recommend?
You basically want to use a sidereal birth chart calculator or a Vedic birth chart calculator. That's going to give you your birth chart in terms of the actual positions of the stars, more than likely. Or if you want to see what's taking place up, in the sky, it's as simple as going out and looking. It's as simple as, getting the telescope and looking at the stars, or downloading one of these apps, such as Google Stars or Star Map, and looking up the sky from there. And then you can actually see where Mars is transiting, where the full moon is, you see. But in terms of the actual...
There's maps that are talking about real, actual, current data. So it's like present, this moment data.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Which you can't do with tropical. Tropical, you would have to consult an astrologer, or go to one of the sites that have the tropical transits. Okay.
So another question I have is, let's just say this information gets on like a mainstream television show. Like say Oprah starts talking about it, right? What's to prevent, all astrologers from feeling like utter crap for not really understanding their own trade? I mean, where is it that they have a leg to stand on and not feel threatened by sidereal astrology?
Well, they still do. I mean, it is a common discussion amongst the astrological community, and the argument from the tropical standpoint is that it's based on the seasons, and that can go deep. That discussion can go deep in terms of its accuracy and what have you. But the leg they have to stand on is usually that they've been doing it for years, and it's been around for years. And at the end of the day, I think that's usually the argument where it leaves off. Although sidereal astrology has been around for thousands of years, the tropicalists, they say, I've been doing this for my whole life. I've been doing it since the past 1,000 years or so in the family, what have you. And it's worked, and it does work, like I said, to an extent. So they do have merit when they say this. Yeah.
I see. But let's talk a little bit about for the people listening, what it is that we're talking about when we get more accurate. We mentioned that it's more accurate to your greater self. You can say the higher self, your soul or whatever. Let's talk a little bit about what it means to begin looking at yourself from information from that perspective. What's the value in, looking away more from what the ego or physical self is about, and what's the value of looking at the higher self more? I mean, what does that do for someone? I mean, I know, but I'd like to hear you share.
Yeah. Basically, it aligns you with your true self, you see, because when you start to look at the astrology in terms of how you're having your experience from the higher perspective, then you're automatically just in that act of doing that. You're automatically in alignment with your higher self. So if you were to watch the astrology for your tropical sign, you would be looking at it and you'd be noticing the, synchronicities and similarities between what the astrology says and what you're experiencing, and you would see that, that there's a connection there. But the connection is with your physical self. So essentially, by using the sidereal system, either in birth chart or in transit, you're aligning with your true conscious self merely by observing the events as they're unfolding in terms of how is your higher self experiencing them? What are the lessons being learned? What are the activation points? What are you enjoying in the process? And what I've found is that, when you do it that way, obviously, because you're aligned with your higher self, there's a tremendous amount of freedom. There's a tremendous amount of expansion and enjoyment in that process. So it becomes very apparent right away when you start using sidereal astrology in that sense, versus maybe in the tropical system, it might just kind of boost your ego a little bit or fortify some things you thought about yourself, in terms of, okay, yeah, this is who I am, and then feel good about it. Whereas the sidereal is a little bit more, it can be deep too, and it can be transformative as the spiritual process is. But usually for those of us that are consciously aware, there is the transformational element, but it's mostly just, it's a breath of fresh air. It's been a breath of fresh air for me and those around me in terms of, wow, okay, this is freedom. This is my true self, and there's a good confirmation there.
That's perfect. Where I come from, and from my experience, even though I've been, somewhat Eastern philosophical, religious in my whole life, or have access to it, meditation and whatnot, I've only come to truly discover that this ascension process or this growth process that many are going through, as we're all looking around and realizing a lot of people are going through this at this time, maybe only just introduced since, the concept of the end of the Mayan calendar, is that, in order to move past the possibilities or the concepts of like an apocalypse, the apocalypse is really just a great change from my perspective. This great change comes from really understanding more about yourself. Now, if anybody's, followed the law of attraction, or The Secret, you can basically get to understand that you attract reality. Now, you attract reality in many, many ways, through your ego and through your higher self. But what I've discovered is if you understand who you are from a broader perspective, and how your soul wishes to operate, and understanding even what a soul is or a higher being is, then you get to work with sort of like the bigger hands at play in your life experience. It's kind of like, people who are not familiar with a higher self, it's as if you're beginning to understand what really motivates you on a more cosmic level. Like people ask, what is life about? I mean, what is my purpose here? Why am I created? Why is there a God, and why am I, down here? What is, basically asking all the bigger questions of life. And it's as if the tropical system, Western system, talks about, well, yes, actually, day to day, you and your body, you're going through this, and your mind is thinking about these things, and it keeps you very mind-centered, but those who want to go beyond is like, yeah, sure, I do these things day in, day out. I've got a job. This is how my relationship is and all that, and this astrology sort of helps me with that. The people are asking, well, bigger than that, the way Buddha contemplated life, and understanding that there is a lot more to understand about how things come into being. Some people, they might just begin venturing the concept of what is luck, and why are these things we call synchronicities possible. They might even just start with what is deja vu, and what do my dreams mean, things like this. And those people are exploring in those directions and questioning what life really is, are going to get into the realm of information that is subtler to access. So this is, more about what your feelings are meaning. This is more about why things are happening to you in your life rather than what your physical body is doing that makes things happen in your life. And I think a lot of people have an to astrology to try to understand why stuff is happening and what to do about it. And sort of an attitude of, I want to improve my life, so I should look to the stars to try to understand. But it's not just stars, it's also the consciousness of the soul, the consciousness of the higher being that is like another player that we never really took the time to get to know. I liken the human body to the higher self as a broader wisdom than the body generally has access to with its five senses. And so when we talk about opening the pineal gland and things like meditation, it's beginning to communicate with the broader being that we are, which is like another person, even though it's not exactly a physical person. Similar to the higher self uses the body in kind of a marionette type of way, it offers, the body a lot of its own sovereignty to make decisions and, make errors. A lot, I don't want to say like the body is like the pet of the soul, but it's not that dissimilar in sort of like a perspective. So that the body and the ego mind, which is very involved with all the physical processes going on here, the details of everyday life, everything, that you work with in the five senses, they have, they function, they work, and they're predictable, and they're easy to manage. And so sometimes I think people don't look at the broader information because it just seems so esoteric. It just seems too light in terms of information to work with. But I do want, to reiterate that there are people that do use the subtle information and do use this broader information to basically understand how to operate in this world at a higher level of efficacy, which is to say that they are more working in tandem with their higher self. This ascension that, as I understand it, I'm not saying this is, the only description of what ascension is, for me is literally getting more access to communicating with your higher self. So that your higher self, which in some cases is basically like your inner wisdom, or your inner intuition, is giving you a greater capacity for operating life and basically being more successful, only because you're really working with what you're attracting from a broader level. And so for me, this is where sidereal astrology practice comes into, as you were saying, it is much more on the broader level accuracy. It really has helped me integrate a lot more information very quickly. Essentially, once I got my sidereal chart brought to me, I went through a bit of fighting over the results, actually. And what I found once I understood the description of both, it really sort of made things clear, because I had one side, which is one description of me, and I had another side, which is another description of me. And I realized that there was a greater truth to be heard and to be felt, actually felt, in terms of really getting to what I was really doing. Like, you did my chart just the other day, and we had a session, and you basically showed and confirmed for me the direction of my life in the broader perspective of what I'm leading to, and the sort of things that I've already started doing as I've sort of dedicated myself to looking at bigger picture stuff within myself and my approach to life. And you pretty much nailed it right on the head. And and from what I understand, you didn't really know me that well. You knew me, as a friend on Facebook and a friend of friends. But until we got to that level, it's like I felt like you really were getting me, just without a whole lot of data to work from. Like, you were not familiar, you'd not listened to my shows or things like that. And I was like, how, is this possible? Well, it's possible because of the significance of this truth. And so I want to thank you for bringing that, and of course for the session. And I feel like, for myself, I've attracted this information, at just the right time for myself. And that's probably the case for many listening, as the typical audience to this show tends to be very, very interested in getting to the deeper levels of life. So I want to thank you for that. I don't know if you had anything to say, but I did have additional questions.
You did what? I'm sorry?
I did have additional questions. I just wanted to see if, take a breath if you wanted to say something.
No, I couldn't agree more with everything you just said. And the same exact experience you had, I've had with my own chart and my own experiences. And, that's what it does. Astrology is merely just a tool. And just like anything else, whether it's tarot cards or what have you, and it's just a tool for confirmation, confirming our inner guidance, and, we can always, just simply listen to our inner guidance, but it does help sometimes to have that confirmation from, some tools such as astrology, Sidereal in particular, that lets us know that, we're on the right path and everything's in alignment.
Now, I forgot, you're actually quite proficient with the tarot readings. Am I right that you can do tarot readings for people too, with the same level of accuracy? Is that not what you do too, or?
No, that's my partner Rachel. Actually, she's definitely the tarot one there. Yeah, maybe we can put a link or something for her just in case someone wants to get in touch for that. But yeah, she's the one for tarot for sure.
And what's her full name?
It's Rachel Lynn.
Okay. And, I was noticing, because on your YouTube readings throughout the week, you pull out a tarot card for additional data. It's sort of like a random card that comes up to help give more clarity to your reading. I really like it. And I was noticing the capacity that you have for having a good understanding of tarot as well.
Wow, Athen? Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd really like to have you and Rachel on the show sometime soon, too. February, March. That'd be great. Julien, you guys, this is a breath of fresh air. Thank you. So much encouragement. Go ahead.
You're welcome. My honor. The oracle cards that I use, they're not the tarot. I'm not too familiar with the tarot. But the oracle cards, they're good for confirming. Yeah, confirming what's going on in the astrology.
So, aside from tarot or oracle cards and sidereal astrology, from being a place of working with tools that you're finding accurate, are there other tools that you might help to validate for maybe some people who are wondering, what should I be using at this time?
Right. Well, the astrology is a great tool, and tarot is a great tool. Pretty much anything that gets you in alignment with your true self, and the beauty about cards actually is that depending on, either who's doing the reading or what kind of frequency you're vibrating at when you're doing the reading, you can be in alignment with your higher self and get a higher self reading. That's the beauty of that. Astrology is more technical, so you have to kind of, consult someone who's in that sort of frequency, unless you're going to read your own chart, which you can always do too, but it is quite technical. I think that's the biggest difference between astrology and the other arts is astrology is pretty mathematical, pretty technical. But then again, to have a really good, tarot session, you want someone who's, in tune with that higher state of consciousness. But, part of it is the tool, and then part of it's definitely the person giving the reading, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, as I do readings and do sessions with people myself, mine has been extremely, operates on a lot of intuition and listening to my higher self and to listen to other people's higher selves. I find it easy to communicate with other people's higher selves and guides. And I've been wanting to increase my knowledge of astrology, and I feel like now is a really good time to begin working with information that I feel is more accurate to the place where I speak from. We talked the other day about possibly doing some recordings. Are you interested in me maybe mentioning that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've talked with Athen, and we're thinking about putting out some YouTubes that basically is like Astrology 101. Since I'm familiar with astrology, I'm familiar with aspects of my own sign, but I was knowing that I really wanted to bring out, and this is almost a year now, I felt this want to bring out a set of basic training tools to help people understand all the different signs, all the different houses, all the different types of things like conjunctions, so that people can have sort of like a basic schoolroom environment to hear and to maybe pick up astrology when, and try to make it not so overwhelming. So the idea was to put out, short videos maybe once a week, in the 10 to 15 minute range to maybe cover a little bit at a time. And I'm actually pretty excited about it. I'm not sure when we'll exactly start that, but I think soon. So I just wanted to announce that for the listeners and to Elizabeth.
Yeah. I'll start.
Now that's what I was talking about earlier. We're becoming the creators who we really are, and that creation spirit, that creation glory, is soaking into our physical body, our spiritual, our mental, emotional body. Get ready for many ideas, everybody. Julien, thank you for your creativity to humanity and co-creating with Athen and his partner. This is going to be beautiful. I love it. Thank you. I'm reading out.
Thank you.
Now, to get back to some of the questions about the astrology as you understand it, can you give us a basic reading of this coming year, or maybe even just the next couple months? I'm sure you look out to some general levels. I mean, something that may not, hearken directly to individual signs, but just what the alignments are going to be like, so people can get an idea. Since this is kind of like, it's not New Year's Day, but we're kind of like in that position to take a look at the rest of the year. Would you mind doing something like that for us?
Oh, no, absolutely. There's three major things happening this year. One of them is just the next few months. We've had this Uranus-Pluto square that some of you may have been hearing about in the astrology community. And this has been an ongoing thing for the past 2 to 3 years, actually. And it's the reason why we have so much political and social change happening in the world, especially with the economic systems and what have you. But this is going to continue through March, and March is going to be the final aspect of this. So on a personal level, because we will continue to see the more global shifting, but on a personal level, we're all shifting individually as well on the microcosm. And so by looking at this aspect, we can get a little bit of information on a collective level for each individual in terms of what this is. And so essentially, we've got Pluto transiting Sagittarius, which is changing all of our life path. Over the past 3 years, all of our life paths have been shifting and changing, and we're kind of going for this ride and not holding on to, the outcome too tight, because, Pluto is about surrendering, just allowing the universe to make the changes that are necessary for our path. And so that's been shifting and changing, and this is going in contact with all these spiritual changes that we've been going on, that have been going on for each of us individually, because we've had Uranus in Pisces for this period as well. So this is spiritual changes. This is individual spirituality and our philosophy changing, our overall spiritual direction changing. And so this is going to be a pretty heavy thing continuing here for the next 3 months in terms of our personal changes. I think our philosophy has been adjusting, and our spiritual path has been adjusting as well, and we'll continue to see that. I think March could be a very interesting month in terms of some final culminations with that. And then, from that point forward, I think we'll have an upgrade. I think there'll be an integration period in terms of, okay, I think we understand it. I think we're a lot clearer now about how to go with the flow, how to surrender to our path, and how to be our true, authentic spiritual selves. Because that's what this Uranus and Pisces is all about. It's being your true spiritual self, and again, making whatever changes are necessary. Now, for the whole year, we do have the North Node in Virgo. So this is essentially that we're grounding our spirituality. And this is a big emphasis here for 2015, especially with the numerology number 8 that Elizabeth was talking about. This is a very, grounded energy. It's infinite, but it's also an energy of taking that infinity and making something with it, grounding it. And that's what Virgo represents, is taking these spiritual energies of Pisces, which is opposite this, of, going with the flow, meditation, higher consciousness, higher self, and grounding it, making it real, changing our, diets, making sure that we're taking care of our physical bodies, becoming grounded, and, again, just embodying that true self. So that's going to be the emphasis for the entire year. Now, in July, we do have Jupiter going into Leo, which is going to be very exciting, actually, because Leo is very expressive, very fun sign, very creative energy. And Jupiter expands any energy that it goes into. So for all of us, this is going to be, for the next year from that point forward into 2016, it's going to be a time of self-expression, time of creativity, and just overall enjoying life, tapping into that zest for life. Because Jupiter's been in Cancer. So we've been getting in touch with soul family. There's been connections with our roots and our past, where we come from. And that energy is now going to shift mid-year in terms of more extroverted, more expressive, expressing our true self, embodying that true self, and living that zest for life. So it's a pretty exciting year, and it's going to start with a lot of these changes that are going to take place, that are going to continue to take place for the next 3 months. But then from March onward, I think it's going to be integrated. And then I think in the summertime, I think all of us are going to feel very, very lively and very expressive, to say the least.
That's awesome news.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all you said, Athen, I think also with all what Athen said, we're going to be seeing that inside of us first. So I just want to just propose, and this is the time, if you're not already, to do a paradigm shift, a different way of doing things that you have been programmed to in the world. And instead of looking outside and how the world is changing, love yourself and go inside yourself, spend time with yourself, spend time inside your heart, and see how you're changing, and be excited of all the little moments that you don't even know yourself anymore. And because that's where it happens first. It happens inside of all of us first. And then then it starts manifesting into the world, with the governments and the pharmacology and all those departments. But if you can look at that perspective, you'll be even more excited. And you can, our outside world is kind of like an astrology of ourselves inside, too. So I just wanted to put that in there. Thanks.
That's so true, Elizabeth. Exactly. And that's where all these changes are actually, this is the only reason why we're having global changes is because these changes are happening individually within each of us, and yeah, that was very well said. Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
So from my perspective, I've come to understand more and more that each one of us is the center of like a galaxy of creation, like literally the middle point at which everything expands outwards. Now, previously my thoughts were in the direction of, well, things are happening to me and I'm reacting to them, right? But when I began to understand the broader scope of things, especially with the law of attraction, I began to realize more and more experientially that things were not happening to me. I was bringing things to me, and that everything is literally attracted to me as I'm the major gravitational force of existence. And everything that is other than me is actually not as gravitationally significant as my own gravity. And understanding myself is literally helped me understand exactly why I'm attracting everything. I mean, you look at the world, you say the world's a big place, right? You say the planet's a big place, the country's a big place. Well, sure it is, but experientially, you have exactly where you're standing, and 15 feet out from it, that is more prominent. So, America be going to war, but you can have a bear 15 feet from your face, and that is your world, you and that bear. So you deal with that. Now, in some cases, people are having a lot of, relationships turn on their head. They're like, why am I fighting in my relationships? Things like this. Because that is a bigger part of your reality. You spend more of your attention attracting and working with your close relationships than you are with your relationship with your president or people in Africa or people on the other side of the globe. Those, and you want to say, well, no, I care about the whole world. I care about everybody. Well, that's true, but in functional relativity, there are things that you deal with that are closer to you than things that are less close to you. And that's just showing literally what you're attracting that is of a greater significance to you than otherwise. Now you can say, well, that makes me kind of a homebody because I don't go outside the house and I only care about my family. I might watch the news sometimes, but most of the time, I only care about my close friends, and that's fine. Everyone has a different relationship with their outer world. And it gets to the point where the outer world is not just people, but, it can be like your couch and your television and the food in your fridge. You have a relationship. You're attracting all those in a type of capacity, much like the sun attracts the planetary bodies and keeps them in orbit. And they're even elliptical. They're not even, the same at all times. The planets have a process of being closer to the sun and less close to the sun, and they're cyclical. And then their relationships to each other, sort of like if you have multiple children, you don't just have, these children independent. You have these children interacting with each other, and you have an experience of them interacting with each other. And so as I look at astrology, it can be very technical, but very similar to how I understand how reality is a product of you observing your own sort of little solar system or galaxy, as it were. And it's highly detailed, just like when you look at the galaxy. There's millions of stars out there. There's millions of people. There's millions of things that you're attracting into your reality. Only, the galaxy is actually, from one perspective, is kind of primitive in that perspective, because you look at a star and you say, that's just a star. Or I might say, somebody that I look at my life, like one of my daughters, like, that's a star. That's, that's an important form of consciousness that I can, experience myself. So, without getting, I've already got off on a pretty far tangent. I was going to say, without getting off too much of a tangent.
Julien?
Which I've already done, yes.
Oh, my God, Julien, you are a genius. My God. I've heard we're our own galaxy, each one of us before, but I didn't really have the revelation of that. You put that so divinely. We are the center of our galaxy, and it spirals all around, and it makes sense, you know, to work on your inner world first and then your close relationships around you. Mm-hmm. And if you study a galaxy, you'll see it all stays there. It's all because we gravitate it to us. You just put that perfectly. Mm-hmm. And there is, you know, a creator. Let's take it out. There's a creator, but we are all a bubble from that creator, we'll put it that way. And we are all a galaxy, becoming a galaxy. And so we're all galaxies. Oh, that was so yummy. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Beautiful, John.
I find it, I love that I've grown with that. Honestly, I got a lot of cliff notes from the Pleiadians, but you know, as I look at it, we're actually each independent. I mean, you know how many, if you looked at what the Hubble telescope has looked at, and they ask, you know, they look and they see there's literally infinite galaxies out there, much like there's almost infinite number of stars out there in our galaxy. It just keeps going on in the macro. So a macro way of explaining it is that way. And as you know, most people probably heard, when you look at the micro and you look at the atom, it's very similar in terms of its composition of electrons orbiting, a proton, and that sort of, you know, keeps going on into, you know, smaller and smaller. It kind of continues in that sort of way. And what we understand is we understand our world in a very particular way, right? I mean, I got a table in front of me, I got a computer, I've got my phone. These are things, right? And if we look at ourselves as if we were the sun and we look at the planets, we don't see, like, Earth as like a table or like a phone or whatever, but it is, in relativity, the same sort of experience. Like, the table is a vast opportunity of potentials before me. I can sit on it, I can put things on it, I can, you know, do my homework on it, I can jump on it, I can chop it up and make it into firewood, I can do a great number of things. The potentials of having a table are similar to the potentials of having a planet if you're the sun. I mean, you're the sun, you're massive, you have so much significance for yourself and so much mass and so much capability, and the planet is just like a pea, you know, on your table, really, compared to your own mass. And that is true, right? The table, when I look at the table, it doesn't have the same potentials as I understand that I have for myself. So yes, the orbiting body known as this table in my room has less potential than I see for myself in terms of the gravity of the effect of what I attract versus what this table is attracting. And so in similar ways, if you could look at it like that, or as I've looked at it like that, it's helped me make sense of it all. And the process of attraction, obviously, is what you're giving attention to. Now, if I'm giving attention to this table more than I give to the president, that shows me where my priorities are, right? And that shows me you know, what I'm putting more care into. But then there's also the factor of rapid attention. Like, if the president announced martial law tomorrow, I'm going to be, well, you know, I hadn't thought about the president all last year, but now I'm thinking about the president like a whole lot, like really emotionally associating with the president. So I'm bringing a lot of energy because my emotions are showing that I'm bringing energy into that. So, you know, you've got the slow ticker of how much energy I give to my attention to the table, and then you've got intense triggers, intense momentums that occur, you know, such as whirlwind relationships, you know, and those come into play much like a comet is coming into your solar system, you know, all of a sudden, and just for a period of time. It's like, well, you know, I got a comet in my system. I didn't even know about that was going to happen. I didn't even know it was orbiting, you know, my solar system because its cycle is, you know, 212 years or something. So that helps understand some of the whirlwind properties of what you attract. And what I've noticed is that the more that you understand what you and your higher being are sort of up to, like what's the gig with my higher being and what is my soul all about, and, you know, what makes my soul and who I am as a solar system different from every other, it helps you understand what you can really give greater attention to as you begin to understand that, say, I like tables, in my reality. So I'm going to be some kind of table aficionado. I'm going to want to learn how to make them and make them wonderful and ornate and whatnot. And, Athen might be like, I like rusted. I just like a chopped piece of log, and that's all I want for a table, and that's his reality. And then I'm not going to his place and saying, hey, your table is pretty crummy. It's not as good as mine. I don't do that because I respect that he's attracted his variation of what is perfect for him. There is no better table than another. There is simply each other's personal reality attractions. And that has given me, and the point that I'm making in bringing this all around, is that has brought me a great level of comfort in not judging everyone, right? I have my experience with that person. Some people say, how can you, let that person do this? I say, well, sure, I can try to stop that person from, cheating on his wife or something, but in fact, I don't have much of a relationship with that person. You do. You may have more relationships, so maybe you should say something. For me, I have a perfect rapport with the person. I go out drinking with him, and he's a great guy. That's my relationship. I go out and I have drinking. I have a great time with him. We don't talk about his wife. He doesn't talk to me about that. That's not part of what I'm attracted in there. That's not a significant property of my involvement with the person. Much like with the president, do you need to know everything about his personal life? Well, some people feel like they do. But at the same time, I don't care what he eats. I don't care if he's vegetarian or if he, gives his children shots. It doesn't matter to me. Those are irrelevant in the factor of what's close to me and what I'm attracting. Anyway, I realize I can rant forever. But I did have a couple more questions for Athen that I was hoping the audience would get to help understand his perspective. Athen, there is this last year, I was going to ask you a little bit why people have had, what were some of the themes of this last year? You talked about the themes of this coming year, but can you talk about helping people maybe clarify a little bit of what, why maybe some things have happened this last year with regards to the astrological side of things?
Yeah, a lot of it does have to do with that Uranus-Pluto square that I talked about. Because, like I said, that's been an ongoing thing, and it spanned all of last year. So, like I said, there, the change. I think if everyone reflects, you'll see that there's changes going on to our past, and sometimes we get a little bit too attached to how we expect things to turn out, or how our what you might call our ego or physical body wants them to be. However, God and the universe and source and the greater abundance has a very specific plan, and this is the same plan that our higher self has. So this whole year has been a sort of transformation of realigning with our higher self in such a way that gets us more in alignment with these changes that we truly want. And I think as the changes happened last year, we started to notice that maybe we were resistant to them at first, but as the changes happened, then we started to realize, what? This is actually what I truly wanted. And so this is going to, like I said, continue to be the theme, for this first few months. But I would say that was probably the largest thing last year, along with, like I was saying, with soul family. I think a lot of soul family were reunited, whether it's romantic, friendships, what have you. Lots of that reuniting from past life, and lots of opportunities and abundance there. So it was a transformative year, and I think that it's all for this transformation that's leading into this year, which is, like I said, going to be much more about taking what we've learned about this connection we have with our higher self and grounding it, into reality, and, making these things that we truly want deep down inside, or, with our higher self, making those things into a reality in 2015. So it's very cyclical. Last year's, merge is definitely merging into this year, but in terms of the overall year, that's how it sort of separates those 2 years very distinctly.
Very cool. another question that I had was, when you do a reading with someone, what sort of things are you going to touch on so that people can get an idea of what sort of comes forward in those things?
Sure. The first thing I look at is your life path, because without knowing the direction, then the astrology doesn't do us any good. So the first thing is to look at the life path, and usually I like to spend a good chunk of time, probably the first 20 minutes, maybe more depending on the individual, in terms of what they truly want, what this truth is that they truly want to experience in this life. And, that sounds like it might be common sense, but a lot of my clients oftentimes, there's always a push and pull, because what I look at for this is what's called the North Node, and it's your overall life purpose. But where you have a North Node, you also have a South Node, which is where you're comfortable and where you have, want to kind of retreat into, because that's where you've been in past life. So you've become comfortable in there. But, this life is about growth. So it's about moving into that path, which is about growth and expansion, and then being very clear in terms of what that is. And then from that point forward, I look at the other aspects of the birth chart in terms of the overall life experiences that they're here to experience and enjoy, and then specifically the transits for the upcoming year in terms of what kind of activations and what kind of year it's going to be in order for them to, again, ground that path and make it a reality.
Oh, pretty cool. I did have some, I'm asking questions about a little bit what your sessions are like. Do you offer things like relationship advice, or if people have relationship issues, do you have ways to help people enlighten perhaps some of the confusion, as oftentimes relationships are some of the most intense experiences that we have here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's called Synastry in the astrology community, and I can look at synastry between two individuals, and it's not so much about their compatibility as much as it's about illuminating who each of them are and what the relationship can provide and where they can come together. And then if both individuals choose consciously to have that kind of higher relationship, that is in the synastry, then the individuals can choose to, continue that relationship or get the most out of that relationship. So one thing I always like to preface is that it's not so much about, whether you're going to be in a relationship with this person or not. It's more about what kind of relationship would benefit you to the most and how can you get the most out of it. But absolutely, yeah, we can definitely do that with astrology.
Yeah, I've always looked at relationships as functional mirrors of what you can do to help work on yourself. Almost like, not to negate when relationships are tough, because that is often something, that you want to work on, or that, you have an opportunity to work on with someone that you perhaps trust on many levels more than a stranger, to work with. So it's almost like a form of partnership for growth, I find. And one of the things that the Pleiadians have let me know not too long ago, about 2 years ago, was that their relationships are sometimes lifelong, and sometimes during a phase in their life they go through lots of relationships. And I want to understand a little bit more about that. But basically, they said that relationships are simply opportunities. There's no, what some people understand in a Western marriage as, a forceful intent for you to become like the same person, like you all, that you both must agree on everything. In fact, they think that is one of the things that does a great harm for relationships, is that you must, begin to mimic and be like each other, like the eventuality of a good relationship in Western culture is that you both, find a way to just bear it out over time. And they feel that there's, a lot of opportunities lost in that. Speaking of Pleiadians, I think I'd like to wrap up a little bit of my conversation with Athen just by saying the Pleiadians have been, as they are in the back of my head, they sort of, it's a little bit like having an entourage, if that's possible. And oftentimes when you've been talking and when Elizabeth talked, they sort of like get out of their chair and clap or even sometimes sort of cheer. And I just want to, it's hard for me to express when that occurs because it's like, it motivates me to feel really good and gets me excited about what's being shared. But I just want to relay that they have been following this. At least this is not all Pleiadians, by the way. This is just the Pleiadians that I'm close with that tend to hang out with me. And they wanted to share that everything that's been shared today has been really spot on for them, and they're really excited about the potential of this information reaching people and actually, getting soaked in to help people understand life and explore themselves more. So that's just what they wanted to share. And they want to say they love you, Athen. They love you, Elizabeth. They love Rachel too. They've gotten to know Rachel vicariously, not through this show, but through my relationship with Crystal, otherwise known as Jennifer, and through Athen and others. So they're doing a little shout out. At this point, Athen, if you would like to, I guess, make some last comments.
Can I say something really quick?
Sure.
Or Athen, you'll stick around for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say, Athen, you are the true sidereal astrologer. Who knows? You may could have been one of the three wise kings, huh? And Julien, Julien, you are the true reality programmer. Yeah, into no time, 0 point, that 8, infinity. So, wow, you guys really upgraded me today. And I was thinking I want to give Athen his last comments, and then maybe he could do my little reading, probably take only 5 minutes or something, then Julien could get ready with the Pleiadians. And I have 2 questions for the Pleiadians. It won't be long, and then whatever they want to say too, Julien. Would that be okay?
If we could do that before Athen gives his reading.
Oh, okay, that'll work. Yeah, because I know you have to go. You got a time crunch, right? Yeah, pretty soon there won't be no time.
So, Athen?
Yeah.
If you'd like to wrap up a little bit of, I guess, just maybe final comments.
Oh, okay. In regards to that stuff, no. I mean, it all sounds really good. I really enjoyed our time.
I did too.
If anyone has any questions, they can get in contact with me at masteringthezodiac.com, and my YouTube channel is Mastering the Zodiac if you'd like to follow the horoscopes. But no, I really enjoyed our time together. I want to thank you both very much for having me, and I wish everyone the best.
Yeah, we wish you the best too. I expect we'll probably have some people from this audience picking up and following our conversation on astrology weekly coming up and learning a bit more, or for beginners at least, picking up on how to read it. I want to thank you, Elizabeth, for hosting this space. And without further ado, I think I'm going to just listen.
I just want to say this was wonderful, Athen, and stay tuned because I want to do my little reading after the Pleiadian. But this was wonderful, and I forgot what I was going to say. I'll think of it. Okay. Stay tuned, Athen. Don't hang up, okay?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, so the first thing they want to say is have an absolutely great year. They really sort of love the excitement that comes with a new year. They see it as a vast opportunity to sort of explode energy onto the scene, explode energy into letting go of past energies of the past year, seeing that you've come, a good deal of the way through your life, that you sort of like made it to the next checkpoint, so to speak, in that, you can revitalize during these holidays into sort of picking up on where you want to delve into life next. One of the things that wants to speak up is actually interesting, is probably one of the youngest Pleiadians I've felt ever, really. Someone that is would be considered a young Pleiadian, like I don't want to put it into the margins of like an 8-year-old, but someone who feels very youthful. There's such a thing. This one's saying that she is only 8 months old, actually, that she lives a full body. She's 8 months old, that she's got the consciousness of and kind of exuberance of like an 8-year-old. Her name is Mistra, or Mistra. She's been raised with the expectation of meeting humans in her lifetime, and hopefully not too far off. So she was brought in for a ceremony, as she probably encompasses a vibration, DNA vibration of a hybrid, a human Pleiadian hybrid. And she wants to, since she's begun to follow human life and human child experiences, she wants to say that, hold on just a moment. For someone this young, she talks really fast. She wants to get across that there is so much energy in the childlike nature within everybody, not just our children. Our children live more from the perspective of the childhood-like nature, but this opening of the new year has brought a lot of that feeling of possibility, like opportunity, and basically, reiterating great opportunity, great potential, potential kinetic energy that is able to be sort of utilized, almost from my perspective, like everyone's being given a wad of cash to go about and make decisions with this wad of cash, and to sort of play with this money and treat it a little bit like monopoly money, but so that we don't take it in the level of too serious. Almost like if you give money to a child, they're not thinking about college investments. They're thinking about, how can they get themselves some candy or something? Like, how can you use this energy to liven up your in-the-moment experience now? This wishing a new year, it's as if it's like, really do that. Really get into the wishing phase. Really get into the expressing desires phase. Really get into the place where you put out an intention, and you may not think about it, like a New Year's resolution. You may forget you have your New Year's resolution, but it goes on and brings to you gifts without you realizing that you wished for it at one point. She's saying that is how life works as a young Pleiadian. You just observe and you just make wishes, and you're not in a position to figure out how it works at all. You're just making purposeful, desired wishes, and no one is around to tell them that it's not going to happen. Everything is possible. And so as she is looking at human world, and she's being told that everything is possible, whatever you wish for will happen, and she's very excited about the human world. It's like some kind of super television show for her. It's like the most entertaining environment that she can perceive. She almost thinks of Pleiadians as boring, actually. in many ways, because the humans have so much creativity. They have so much abundance of possibilities that they go out and they explore richly. She wants to be a part of that, and she wants to help people see them bring their manifestations to life. And so she's saying that she has still access to her past life as a fairy. This is, I don't know exactly how to explain what kind of fairy this was, but it's not a earth-based fairy, but it's a fairy that has this sort of limited perspective on things, but unbridled passion for everything that's there. And so she is exploring that right now, that she has unbridled passion for life, that she's been given the open forum to do anything. And she wants to express more and more that there is this vast pool that Earth living people are not aware of, because there's been a lot of information to hide our great divinity, hide our great massive potential. And she's saying if she can offer one suggestion, is to laugh and to giggle more. Just encompass that opportunity more, as that will literally jiggle out the negativity in your life, and making things silly and joyful as an intention, not necessarily a practice, but as an intention, will make life into something that becomes less serious around you, not something you have to do. Like, you don't have to make something silly, just let things be silly and loosen up. There's a lot of what she understands, and as human children understands, as serious grown-up stuff that's everywhere. And she's saying that the serious grown-up stuff is just an option. You don't have to have serious grown-up stuff. You can be 78 years old, and you can live the life of a child if you choose to have your focus there. And naturally, she's saying, who wouldn't? To play and to live in joy is a choice reality that you can have. And she's assuring us that that's what she's going to bring in terms of Pleiadian energy to humans in her lifetime. And she is trying to express that she brings that exuberance to those around her in the Pleiadian world. So she's not like all Pleiadian children. She's apparently been delegated to be the one to talk with us today, as everyone has taken note of her approach to life, and feels that she, is here for us. You can talk to her. Imagine that you can send her psychic emails, and you can encourage her on her journey, and she'll write back in forms of joyful, spirited energy. The emails work in a function of quantum, so really it's simply intentions put out. If you want to strengthen the intentions, you can write down the message to her directly. She's asking me if I'm going to bring her up again so that she can speak again, and I'm going to accept
Julien?
Yeah. Yes.
Julien, before Astriel goes, Astriel, you're a superstar. Thank you for bringing that. You are so gracious. You brought such genuinity and such motivation, inspiration to all of us. And thank you from the desire of my heart that you just brought us to another little point in our relationship, our close, intimate relationship that we're working on, from us here to our star families, you. Astriel, thank you so much, and and I want to ask her a question when it's time.
people in the Pleiadian community there are already considering coming up with a new ambassadorial term for someone like her because of what she's able to offer. She's a conduit of sorts, but one of the last things she is bringing up is to is interesting. Spend time looking at lights, everything from Christmas lights to the sun and candles, and observe that light doesn't need to be taken for granted. We do take it for granted, but light is a portal of life. Literally, where light derives from, the sources of light lead to high potential. If you can see the symbology in physical light around you, know that if you happen to gravitate and happen to look at some lights or something like that, know that there is energy that can come through that portal, and that she particularly loves Christmas tree lights, the multiple colors, and that's sort of her energy is much like the joy and the excitement and the randomness of all these different colors on a Christmas tree and how we sort of decorate things. She's basically opening the floor to if both you and Athen have questions or want to say something to her.
Okay. Astral, I just want to tell you a story, and I want you to comment. Okay, imagine the story here down on Earth. Imagine we're at a baseball game. The audience is all there. Spectators are all there. All the players for both sides are there. The bases are loaded. I'll just call the bases are loaded with diamonds. And the catcher's there, the pitcher's there, and a diamond's coming up to bat. And the pitcher, somebody might want us to throw us a curveball, but that batter, that diamond up to bat, gets the pitch. And it's the seventh inning, and there's 2 outs. And so this is the game. So that diamond batter gets a pitch, and he or she hits it out of the ballpark, and bases are loaded. They bring all the other diamonds in, and they win the game. So, what do you think of that story, Astral?
She's not familiar with the game of baseball quite yet, but she does feel what you're saying. She does feel what you're sharing. Even though the symbology of the description doesn't work for her, she does know the way that you're feeling as you express it, and that is the kind of excitement that she says. The bringing home aspect, she was following our conversation today, and what she understands as bringing home is true self, is bringing true inner nature or higher self nature, bringing that in and not letting go, allowing us to live from our hearts. It's kind of a big deal, but not to make a big deal out of it, sort of thing. That our heart is that place where sometimes the heart is answering the needs of the ego, and sometimes it is answering or speaking to our deeper or higher self. It doesn't matter. It serves in all occasions. So don't even worry about whether there is judgment for having heart. Whenever energy is coming in, it is a facet of creation, and from what she's been told adamantly is that there is no false creation. There is no wrong creation. All creation has a place in our reality, and it all serves to, whether you realize it or not, it takes our lives to the next level and brings us always to a destination that we may or may not even be aware that we're headed for, that will bring ourselves more love. It's like love begets love, no matter which way you slice it. So she loves that perspective of coming home, because that is, as she feels, is also a process of finding yourself.
Such deep wisdom, honey. I love it, Astral. That's so gorgeous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I honor you. I honor all the Pleiadians, and I'm talking to you, and we'll figure out a plan and a strategy. So, and others I'm talking to that are here too. And by the way, I want to add that Athen Julien said earlier, the people are listening to it that are on the call now. Athen and Julien, get ready, because it's going viral, your stuff and everybody's stuff that we're creating now. I got a worldwide follower blog, and I got a worldwide galactic-wise follower up there in the star people land. So thank you guys in the galactic-wise for passing it viral, and we're co-creating together.
Yeah. Well, I do got to run at this point. I just want to share, my website is julienwells.com, and Julien is spelled with an E, so JulienWells.com. And I do sessions. It's on a limited basis, but you can arrange to make an appointment with me at jwsessions.simplybook.me. And add me on Facebook if you're on Facebook, and I'm not on Facebook as much as I used to be, but I usually get to most questions or comments or say hi or whatever. But I've enjoyed, today immensely, especially with that boost of vitamin C from Mistra. And it's almost like a shot of a loving adrenaline of sorts. Anyways, thank you, Athen, for being here. And
thank you, Julien.
Julien, you're truly a reality programmer. Thank you for realityizing us today. It was truly awesome. And thank you for co-joining with Athen and you. Your conversations was just really diamondy.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Thanks, Julien.
Take care, everyone, on the line. Bye.
Okay, Athen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, and thank you for your contribution. Let's give you your website first and whatever you want to give, and then maybe do the reading and if you want to say anything else.
Yeah, just Mastering the Zodiac if you have any questions or if you'd like a personal reading. And YouTube channel is Mastering the Zodiac as well. I do daily, weekly, and monthly horoscopes, so you can follow me on there if you'd like. But yeah, you want to go ahead and get started with your little birth chart reading, Elizabeth?
Let's do it.
All right, so let's see here. I wanted to make sure that we have your birth time at least somewhat accurate. How accurate is 3:30 p.m.? Is it within a few minutes, would you say?
See, I don't really know my birth time, but that's what intuition I asked my mom. It was sometime in the afternoon, around 3:30. So I don't know what would be the best way to go.
No, that's okay. We can still do it. I just, if I have the time, it makes it a little bit more specific. But no, it'll still be.
Let's do it at 3:33.
3:33. Okay.
Yeah, p.m.
Okay. So if that's the case, then your whole life path is about giving practical information and practical knowledge from essentially what you might call your past life. You've got your South Node in Sagittarius, which is that, in past life, you've mastered the philosophical and spiritual divine principles and the fundamentals of life itself. And so with that North Node in Gemini, it's that now you're here to share it and to communicate it and express it, which is perfect in everything you're doing with this radio show and everything, in a very practical way so people can understand it and they're getting the information, conveyed to them in a way that they can relate as well. So that's really beautiful, and that's, definitely in alignment with what you're doing right now at the moment. So the more you do that, the more you kind of expand. Treat life as, taking all of this information and sharing it, even in day-to-day encounters and with your relationships. It's almost like you're a teacher in this life, and you're helping people take these broader philosophical principles and, apply them in a very practical sort of way. So it'll benefit your relationships, it benefits your work, the more that you do those types of things in general. Now, all of this is also influenced by your sun, actually, because your sun in Sidereal is in Gemini. So when you're born, the sun was in Gemini, which is very close to your north node. So there's an expression here, and this is again where the radio show comes into play. It's you've got something to say, and you want the world to hear it, and it's very important.
You're breaking up a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, okay. In terms of your sun in Gemini, you've got this message to share and to express yourself, and it's like you want to convey it and be heard, and it's very important that you do. It's the more you express yourself, the more you'll see that things are unfolding for you, especially in with work, relationships, etc. But that's where you gain your creative energy. So you gain energy by teaching and sharing and conveying information. So there's that vital life force energy, which is really good for you. Now your moon is in Scorpio, and so this is the depth, and I'm seeing this in your chart too. You got a lot of understanding of the deeper side of life, the fundamentals, beyond the veils, beyond the illusions, the deep spiritual core, which is, what reminds me of a diamond, actually. It's, a diamond is, very deep into the earth, and it's, compressed with, all of this deep spiritual stuff, which, in physical form you'd call dirt, but it crystallizes. And the more you go deeper and the deeper you go, the stronger that core is. And so that's what you're doing in this life, is you're going deep. You're bringing out that core, and then, like I said before, you're helping others bring out that core within themselves and empower themselves and be, enthusiastic and enjoy their life and tap into that zest for life. So in a nutshell, just very generally, those are the three parts of the birth chart that really stand out to me the most. And the more you tap into those things, you'll notice things are in flow, because that's what your higher self is here to experience. Your higher self has a message to convey, and it's here to teach and help others understand practically these very important divine principles and spiritual principles.
My God. Wow.
Does that resonate with you,
That
Elizabeth?
is so encouraging. You are an encourager. And from that information, you got lots of information from that Sidereal Astrology. Wow, I'm impressed. That's awesome. Yes, right. Yes, and yes.
Well, good.
Thank you so much, Athen.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Elizabeth.
I can't wait to have you and your wife, your partner, on here. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we'd love to. We're both very excited. She's actually here listening, and she's giving me the thumbs up. So we're both on board.
Thumbs up to you too, dear. Keep diamonding your tarot cards. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to say, Athen, that's been on your heart this week that you want to share with all of us? Anything?
No, I'm good, actually. I just want to say thank you again, and thank you all for listening, and it's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much. I love you, and take care. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
And your wife
take
too.
Care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys. Wow. All I can say is wow. I want to see if Lily's here. Lily, are you here? I have a few things to bring on, and we'll end it with just some good stuff you can take, all of it, all of it in. Drink it all in. Take a drink of the show, guys, and put it in yourself deep, right? Okay, hold on a second. Okay. All right. I'm back. I'll make sure I'm not muted. Okay, I'm waiting for Lily. She'll be here in a second, and then we're going to finish up with that full, this creative desire that I got this week and a half. And I want to share with you, not just for me, but for you guys, to get on that glory train. Because just by listening it, you'll get sparked. And as things will well up in you. So I encourage you to listen to it. It's not boring. It's not boring. So let me just open up the audience, see if anybody has any comments, questions, want to say hi real quick, and then Lily will be here and we'll finish up the call. All right, you guys, you diamonds, you co-creators with us. You're not the audience. Boing. Anyway, star 6 to say hi or bring in a comment. Any questions, anything you have? Anybody?
Lola.
Hi.
Hi, I don't have any voice today. I did have, wanted to say, really good show, but I also wanted to ask, I did go into unto tsu.co, followed all of the things, and then it asked for a code, and I tried your number, the 213-58154, and that isn't what it wants.
Okay, are you on Facebook?
No, I went in the website.
No, are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook.
Okay, private message me and I'll send you that link.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's cool.
That'll be
all
easy.
Right.
Just click on it. Okay, dear.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Be well. Be healed. Be healed. In the name of who I am. I diamond you healed. I'll give you a drink. Take a drink of that etheric vitamin C right now. Take that shot.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right, dear. Anybody else? And Lily, if you're here, you can come on in.
Hey, Lily, or hey, Liz.
Hi, Elizabeth Diamond. How are you? I'm Lily here. I'm Lily Diamond. How are you doing, Elizabeth? That's a switcheroo pretty fast, isn't it? An 8 to a 0, 0 to an 8. Twist, twist, untwist, twist. 0 point. Here we are, guys. Happy New Year. Okay.
That was a really, really good call.
Come back to me. Come back here. I can't hear you.
You can't hear? Oh,
there.
Very
I can hear you laughing, yeah?
Very good call. I couldn't talk. I was close to that.
You're getting drunk, aren't you, girl? Uh-huh. Good. This is good.
Yeah. That's that little laughing energy that, was it Mistra?
Oh, you're kind of blurry. Come closer to the phone.
Okay. It's the Mistra that he had talked about, the little kid laughing energy. Plus, every time I've been talking to Liz like all weekend, and every time we talk, we cannot stop laughing. So it's
well, and even the laughing morphs into strange sounds, and you're like inside yourself saying, "What the heck am I doing?" Like strange sounds. Yeah. Like, I mean, just let yourself just well up and come out like that waterfowl. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really good show. I was on the other line, like the other code, so I couldn't unmute because it's called explode. And then anyway.
I'm a green diamond. What color are you?
I don't know.
Blue. I got an emerald green diamond. Beautiful.
Cool.
I mean, not a real diamond. I'm just said I'm an emerald green diamond. I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you guys, Lily, is there anything you want to add? And then I'm going to play the full the desire that I got, which I want to share with the world, because not just for me but for them, and it's really great. And it'll go into that meditation we did at the beginning to end it. And you guys just stay drunk, stay drunk in the glory that heals and does it easy. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. And all what Julien and Athen brought forth. Go ahead, Lily.
Yeah, no, I just want to ditto that. That was a wonderful, wonderful call. Thank you for doing it, and I'll mute out.
Okay. Okay. And all right. Sounds good. All right. Anybody else want to say hi really quick in the audience, and then I'll start this up?
Yeah, hey there.
Heather Diamond, how are you, my girlie?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. What's new?
No, not a lot. Is your host still on?
Lily, she's here.
No, not the host. I'm sorry, your guest.
No, Julien and Athen, they're done talking, and I'm going to finish up the show with a really, really, really good meditation if you want to stay tuned.
I do. I had a couple calls, so I missed them leaving.
Well, you can listen to the recording, and this is number.
I was here for the whole call. I just didn't. I didn't know if maybe any of you guys caught how much the signs have moved. Is it like days or
one sign over? I think he said. One, like if it was a Cancer, it's the next one. Yeah, almost a full sign over. Yeah.
So
this is reference number 19. Huh?
So if you're in the middle of the month, you could be.
They're going to do some YouTube specials, little mini YouTubes, and coming up, and we can learn more from that. And he has a website. You could go ask him too.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
All right.
And
thank you.
This is reference number 195 pound for you guys. If you want to know you can listen to this right after the show at 209-255-1099, then 883267 pound, and then reference 195 pound.
All right. Perfect.
Okay, come on, Heather. Tell us a joke or something. Tell us whatever comes to your heart. Tell us something funny.
Something funny.
It's coming up in your heart. Bing, there it is. Just do it.
My daughter calls me Luma instead of Mom.
Oh, how prophetic. Luma.
Yeah,
Illumination.
Woohoo! She's started that probably 2 years ago, and she calls me that more than Mom.
Aww.
I think it's funny, but nobody else does.
Aw, I love it. That's such encouragement to you.
Uh-huh.
Luma, I love it. Thank you for sharing that. That's great.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Amethyst, hi, honey.
Hey, I got a little something funny to add to the conversation. So.
Okay.
I work at Cracker Barrel, and we got some new signs in, and one sign that tickles me for all your coffee lovers out there, which I am not part of that group, but.
Oh, wait a minute, Amethyst. Somebody needs to mute out. Star 6, please. Okay, go ahead. Coffee makers. Sorry, start over.
For all the coffee lovers, there's a sign that we have at Cracker Barrel, a new sign that says, no coffee, no worky. No people that can identify with that, but I'm not part of the coffee lovers group, so anyway. And then there's another one that says, sometimes when I'm dieting, a chocolate bar will jump off the shelf, unwrap itself, and run all the way into my mouth.
I love that. Say that again.
You want to hear it again? Sometimes when I'm dieting, a chocolate bar will jump off the shelf, unwrap itself, and run all the way into my mouth.
That is so funny. That's good. I love it, Amethyst. Oh, my God. I can imagine that when you're saying that. The chocolate bar gets naked and jumps into your mouth.
Yes. For all the chocolate lovers out there, I just discovered the other day, we have an all-chocolate cookbook full of nothing but recipes for all sorts of chocolate confections. How about that?
Wow, that's awesome. Ooh, all chocolate. That's what we're going into, all chocolate. Goody, yummy. Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing from your heart. That's great. Thank you. Oh, that makes the call. Okay, anybody else? All right, so stand by, and we will end the call with this right after the meditation. I'll just turn it off. And just stand by for next week, where we're going to have another round table. It's like our second round table on the Diamond Show. It's going to be great, co-creating with a lot of people. I decided to join in my friend Andrew Fisher. He has a blog talk radio show, Nature of Reality. And me and him will be, and Lily, are going to be hosting the roundtable with Steve Bissett, Tom Clearwater, and Peter Slattery. It's going to be a worldwide roundtable. Peter Slattery comes from the UK. And he's a starseed, so it's going to be a galactic-wise round table. And it's going to be great. I'm excited for that. A lot of techo getting ready, planning for a round table, but it's going to turn out just diamondy. It's really cool. All right, so this is reference 195 pound, and I am going to start this. Let me mute out the room so in case somebody comes in. This is probably about, what time is it? 15, 20 minutes long. It's fun. It's a fun thing. And within it is a meditation. And then I'll just play the little sparkle music that we sparkle with, right? Okay, love you all. Keep shining and keep bringing all that shine out of your hearts from the depths of your heart, and keep laughing. Get drunk, huh? In the glory, the kind of drunken glory. And you can go beyond drunker, okay? Here we go.
Good thing you're probably doing more substantial creative things, rather than being an observer.
I'm going to mute the room first.
Actually doing something, and that's also very good. Right. When I was dating my first husband, we spent the night in his car with another couple, and right there beside where we were going to view the parade, it was right across from the judging stand, and we climbed up on the side of a bank building and sat on a ledge. I'm surprised that ledge held us all, It was real funny because one of my girlfriends from high school, she and I had known each other since second grade. She and her folks were across the street. They saw me, but I didn't see them, And she says, "Oh yeah, we saw you and Dave up there on that building."
Oh my
But it
God.
was really something to see it in person. I've only seen it once, but it was really, really beautiful.
Wow.
I think I think it's nice to see it in person, but I also think football games and ball games, baseball games and parades and things like that are a lot more enjoyable if you watch them on TV. You get a better view, and you're not out in the cold and everything. Somebody else just tried to come in, and I interrupted him. Go ahead, honey. I heard a voice. Come on in. Well, didn't mean to squelch you completely, guy. Anyway, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Carol. That's fine.
Oh, was that you, honey?
Yes. Just
well, go ahead.
Well, I just that would be something I would do. Spend the night in the car and wait to get a good spot. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you watch and for watching things on TV, you do get better views of the place. So.
Well, yeah, because Marvin had really good tickets. He had 40-yard line tickets on the side where the sun was behind us, and so we had excellent seats. But we'd sit out in the cold and drink our brandied coffee and out of the thermos and freeze our rear ends off and listen to some guy say, "You mother." And I finally turned around one time. I said, "Don't you have a father too?" And everybody just roared, But
that's funny.
I really enjoy seeing it on TV because the cameras pick up almost everything.
Right. Right.
And
it's
just so much
money.
person.
Oh my gosh, big money. Yeah. Like the Super Bowl, that's the biggest, but yeah.
But I'll be glad when horse racing and soccer and football and wrestling and all those kinds of things go away because of the bodily harm that it causes people,
Right. Right.
Much as I love horses, I don't enjoy the horse races because of the accidents that can happen.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that video you sent out with the tribute. Those horses were gorgeous.
Weren't they, though?
Oh, my gosh.
Who was that sent that to me? I think it was Smyrna, but I can't remember.
Then a friend of mine, when I was growing up, she had a Tennessee Walker, and she showed it at the fair every year. And just beautiful. Just beautiful.
What color was it?
It was, I think, light tan. I can't remember. But her dad used to race horses, too. And have you ever heard, you may not have heard of it, in Ohio, in Delaware, the Little Brown Jug, which is harness racing. Have you ever heard of that?
Not the Little Brown Jug. I've heard of harness racing.
Yeah, it was actually pretty well known. It was actually but it was a small county fair, but that was pretty well known in throughout the Midwest, actually. So yeah.
What was the meaning of Little Brown Jug? Was that the name of the race, or?
Well, yeah, and I actually don't know what it meant, but it was where my mom grew up, and it was she went every year, so.
I'll be darned. I wonder if that was the prize or something.
Well, I don't know. It might have been a bottle of liquor or something. I don't know. That's funny. It is north of Kentucky, so. Oh, that's funny. I don't know. Don't know the story about that, but yeah, that's probably still going on. I mean, that's one of the oldest races.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Who's this?
You guys are talking. Hi, me, Elizabeth Diamond.
Yeah.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine, honey. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, you guys. Marianne.
Yes.
I couldn't help myself. You guys are talking about liquor, alcohol. Well, I got some stories to tell you. I'm on a wild adventure, I tell you. This all goes with what Cynthia's been teaching us. See, happy and joy, but it's more than that. Okay, I'm like getting drunk on the glory of God.
Right.
I mean, that's the true alcohol. Mm-hmm. I swear my feet, I can't walk. I can't even get off the ground. Have you ever heard of that, you guys?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like Carol, it's as near as the air you breathe. All you do is breathe it in, and just you can feel it, or whatever you do. Or grab a ball of glory. See, I can't talk. Grab a ball of the glory of God out of the air, Carol, and just dump it all over you, and see how you feel. Oh, you guys. But anyway, I want to, and then you guys talk about creativity. I got such a desire in my heart, and it has to do with, so I grew up in the Christian realm and then went further, and get drunk in the glory of God. That's all I can say. It's just awesome, except it doesn't have that side effect. And my desire in my heart is, there's parts of the Christian realm where there's drunken glory music, but my desire is to make drunken glory music. What I mean is make music out of your heart of joy, love, peace, and happiness, and then put it into music so the whole world may have a choice to listen to it, like click on it on YouTube. And as they listen to it, they'll get happy, happy, happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
2015 is about that. So my question to you and everybody in the audience and Cynthia is, okay, I like to sing. I love to worship. When I was in the Christian church, I just went up there in front every time we had worship, and I would dance and twirl and put my arms up and, just give God love. We are God. So I gave him love. He gave me love back. It's an awesome feeling. But, God, see, I can't even think. I can't remember what I was going to say. So I don't know how to sing. I know how to play the drum. I don't even know how to play drum, play the tambourine. But how do we create something like that? And it's all about co-creating together too, right? So I prayed the prayer one. I prayed the prayer one regarding that. Since Cynthia talks about we're magnetic women, women are magnetic. We draw things to us.
Right.
So I prayed the prayer one that I desired to make a music like that, co-creating with people that know how to do the video, know how to, play the instruments and all that, And then I
can answer it.
Okay.
I can answer it. Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what to do.
Okay.
And you can do it or not. But this will work. Get a good keyboard that has real good sounds, and I highly recommend Roland. They're not very user-friendly, but they have the best electronics. And, hook it all up. I mean, it'll probably be a learning curve. You may have to get a sound tech. But hook it all up. You'll need an amplifier. And I just heard a clip.
My dream is not...
Oh. But let me just finish. Play either the white keys or the black keys, but don't mix them.
Okay.
And do it for an hour and a half.
Okay.
And call in the angels to come through you, and they will show you the different sounds on the keyboard.
Ooh.
And you have a microphone so you can sing and record all this stuff. And then you can upload it to YouTube.
That's awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And my vision, though, is not just to do it by myself, but co-create it together with people that are drawn, people that are ready, that are filled with the vibrations of joy, love, happiness, that drunken glory already.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Whether you do it alone or whether you do it with people, you agree ahead of time if you're going to play the black keys or the white keys. And then you'll stick to it, and you do it for an hour and a half. If you're going to have dancing, lights, everything, let everybody know ahead of time you're doing it for an hour and a half. Because that's working. That's what the angels told me about this. They said whatever you do it for 90 minutes, and you don't mix the two key scales because the black keys stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, and the white ones, and this is all, in science, the white keys, which are the diatonic key scales, stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, and you don't want to mix them because they're opposites. It's like putting on your brakes and your accelerator at the same time. It's like trying to be super awake and super asleep at the same time. But if you'll stick in one or the other, the angels can come through and show you the glory of God. Now, if you do the white keys, you'll see the glory of God in creation. And if you do the black keys, you'll see the glory of God within. If that makes sense.
Within yourself, right?
Well, in the inner world, in yourself. And then you can have microphones so people can sing along with the music. I mean, you can do anything you want with this, but that's what they told me.
What about with the guitar and other instruments that
you need to figure out what is the equivalent to the black keys, probably on the guitar, be your sharps and so forth. But it's just the way the human body works.
Well, my desire is to get a group, and I know now I can't talk. I thought, well, you were telling me, I know why you're telling me this, because I'm a foundation builder, so I'll be doing the foundation part, and I'm a builder, and the others will come. I mean, so you give me the secrets to sell the team.
Well, that's true. On the one hand, that's true, but create it on the inner and then attract it on the outer.
Oh, I get it. Start with myself, right?
Yeah.
All I have is a drum and a tambourine. Get a keyboard.
Well, you can use that too. You can use that too. You can all hook it up. There's microphones that are omnidirectional that you can hook all that up to.
Okay, I'm going to get me a nice gift then. I'm going to treat myself with love, right? I'm going to love myself. I'm going to get me a nice keyboard and a microphone to start out with. Thank you for encouraging me that.
You're so cute. Listen, you are as cute as you can be. Thank you. Yeah, well, hey, rock and roll. And hopefully when all this change happens, there'll be lots of people doing music.
The thing in my heart is, okay, it's in the Christian realm, the drunken glory music, but I don't know if it's in the rest of the world. So I want to do that.
Absolutely. That's what the poems of Rumi are about. It's about being drunk with the divine love.
I want to get it out to the world in 2015 because this is what's going to unlock the wells in everybody. Because it's full of love. I mean, it is love, right? When that music is full of the glory.
Oh, it's very, very powerful. Absolutely.
Oh my God! And I'm shaking. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm really drunk. Woo! Oh, it's just powerful. I thought here. Okay, I got to give it away. Ready? Oh yeah. Have some glory.
I had just been splattered with glory.
Oh,
that would be a wonderful album, splattered with glory. It would be so interesting. People would listen just to see what on earth could this be about.
That's music right there, right?
Splattered with glory. Oh, God.
I'm telling you, Cynthia, you guys, everybody, it's happening. It's happening with me. It's happening with you, Cynthia, all we've been talking about. It's here, finally. I'm going to cry. Oh, my God, you guys. It's here, Cynthia. And here's another thing, if you guys dare. Maybe this is what's going on. I called those 360 angels in. Oh, my God. Woo! And my other beings, but my revelation a week or so ago was to call in all the 2015 energies to myself now. So I can be a change agent to the world while they're going through this too, to the ones that really need it. Somehow, just being. Whew, I'm telling you, when I called in the 2015 energies, all of them, woo, I felt it. I'm really shaking inside now. Shaking like a quake, you guys. Somebody talk.
Well, I just want to thank you for sharing all this because I really needed to hear it, and I'm really grateful.
Right.
Period. I mean, you know, fans cheering in the audience here. I mean, I'm cheering you on, girl.
Breath of fresh air. Yes. Well, you guys, you just said it, Marianne. It's just right there. It's right there. Everybody just close your eyes.
Okay, let's all close our eyes, everybody. Everybody, close your eyes, okay? Now go ahead and be slow and guide us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You take a deep breath. We'll take a deep breath. Let's do 3 special breaths where we all breathe in to the count of 10, hold. You know the drill. Starting now, and then if you'll guide us. But let's all do the 3 breaths starting now.
Okay, guys. First of all, this is the revelation for you. I just want to call in all the 360 angels that assigned at each degree around 360 degrees around the earth. I'll call in the divine flame of living love. I'll call in a spiritual cord of equity of each of our ancestors, if you're willing, your ancestors. We call in all of our multidimensional selves. And we call in all the glory, the glory beings from every dimension, and understood and not understood, known or unknown, that will help us in experiencing this and making it real and tangible for us. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Now, you guys just imagine like your little girl, little boy, sitting in the grass or laying down in the grass if it's more comfortable, in a bed of daisies. And it's a bright blue sky with clouds, little fluffy clouds around the sky. And all of a sudden you see out of one of those clouds a bright pink bubble coming out. It's little and it comes out of the cloud. It starts slowly coming down to you. You keep watching it and wonder, I wonder what that is. You know, your little girl, little boy. You're having fun. That bubble keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And here it comes. It's like 4 inches in front of your face. And you're like, wow. And then you start wondering, what's in there? What's in that big, beautiful bubble? And you see, now use your imagination. Whatever you see love in there. You see love and you recognize that love. And now you're looking around more and you see peace. Peace. Wow, you remember that peace. And you keep looking and you see lots of things in there. Oh, and you discover joy. Joy's in there. Yay! And you see bliss and happiness. And you see all the desires of your heart in there. And you're like, wow, that's awesome. And now you decide, okay, I want all that. I want to drink it all in. So now I want you guys just to blow out and take a great big breath in and suck that bubble right in you. And hold it for a minute. And I just ask for the key from heaven to unlock every well in your body, to let all the dross out and let this joy, love, peace, and happiness in. Blow out. Just feel it all blah, blah, gluey, 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 gluey. Happy, 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 joy, joy, all over you. You might feel sad. You might feel like crying. Go ahead and cry. It's getting all that dross out. You might feel shivers inside you. You might feel dizzy or it just feels good. You might feel like a marshmallow. You might feel happy, like laughing. But it's good. And keep imagining that. So every day as you go about your time, as you're walking around, what I do, I just imagine that bubble or a big glory drink, and I just go, and then I hold it in a minute, and I blow it out. I can feel it all over me. And when you blow it out, it doesn't go to waste. It goes to the whole world. And as you walk around and talk with people, and sometimes you may not even feel it, you're changing them from the inside out. But first of all, remember, love yourself as that little girl, and change yourself from inside out. Because God loves you, and you are God, and we're all one. So keep that bubble close to you every day. You can imagine that bubble that you just to breathe in every day. Use your imagination. So now let's give 90 seconds to just let it flow on you. How y'all feel? At the very least, you relax. Wow, Elizabeth, thank you. What do you feel?
I feel joy. I feel it all the way to the tip of my toes. And
what do you, any sensations in your body? Anything you feel?
Just, I'm in my heart. It's just God. It's fun. It's nice. It's just beautiful. I see sparkles. I see, just I see a lot of sparkles, and it's a lot of different colors. A lot of different colors. So,
well, I tell you, that's the strongest drink you could ever have.
That's right.
And it's all you need. All you need is God. All you need is love. All you need is love. I was like shivering. Can you tell that? Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate any feedback too. If there's anything today or tomorrow or whatever.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's who you are. That's who you are, though. It's not me. It's that too.
It's joyful. I mean, it's. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we can use it at any time. We can call
You're
upon
smart. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, I'm muting out. I'm going to listen, okay?
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And we ask that this be done according to the highest good of all concerned in each and every moment, in each and every place, with each and every being, that it is transformed and transmuted to be absolutely the highest good of all concerned, no matter what, no matter where, no matter how. That this prayer of this glory drink be configured to adapt to the infinite diversity of creation in a way that's the highest good of all concerned, so that everything gets initiated into supreme happiness, into the splendor and the majesty of divine consciousness, and their desires and their thoughts and their emotions manifesting in their world. And so it is. Give thanks to this time. So be it.
So it is.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful.